the appeal of Elhajj. The OTA case number is 221111924. The oral hearing will be live streamed. Present today is the stenographer, Ms. Alonso, who is reporting this hearing verbatim to ensure we have an accurate record. We ask that everyone speaks one at a time, does not speak over each other. Please speak clearly and loudly. When needed, Ms. Alonso will stop the hearing process and ask for clarification. After the hearing, Ms. Alonso will produce the official hearing transcript, which will be available on the Office of Tax Appeals website. The Office of Tax Appeals is an independent and neutral agency. It is not a tax court. All three judges are co-equal decision makers, and any information shared today is publicly viewable on the live stream. Mr. Shahati, did you intend on being on camera today?
They said that there is a problem with the video, so I'm not sure why. But
Okay, that's fine.
I can try it if it works here again.
Well, it's not a requirement. I just wanted to make sure since we can't see you.
Exactly.
All right. Well, then we'll just listen for your voice. That's okay.
Thank you, sir.
So before we get started, I just want to offer a few reminders. First, please make sure that your microphone is muted when you are not speaking, and not muted, of course, when you are speaking so that we can hear you. And then finally, please remember that anything that is said today is publicly viewable, and any information shared will be shown on the live stream. Are there any questions, Mr. Shahati, before we go on the record?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And CDTFA, do you have any questions?
This is Ravinder Sharma. No question, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Alonso, are you all set? Okay. We are opening the record in the appeal of Elhajj. The OTA case number is, 221111924. This matter is being held before the Office of Tax Appeals. Today's date is July 15th, 2025, and the time is approximately 2:15 p.m. This hearing is being convened virtually. Today's hearing is being heard by a panel of 3 administrative law judges. My name is Keith Long, and I will be the lead administrative law judge. Judge Natasha Ralston and Judge Andrew Wong are the other members of this tax appeals panel. All 3 panel members will meet after the hearing and produce a written decision as equal participants. Although the lead judge will conduct the hearing, any judge on this panel may ask questions or otherwise participate to ensure that we have all the information needed to decide this appeal. As a reminder, the Office of Tax Appeals is not a tax court. It is an independent appeals body. The panel does not engage in ex parte communications with either party. OTA will issue an opinion based on the parties' arguments, the admitted evidence, and the relevant law. For the record, will the parties please state their names and who they represent, starting with the representatives for CDTFA?
This is Ravinder Sharma, hearing representative for the CDTFA. Thank you.
This is Jason Parker, Chief of Headquarters Operations Bureau with CDTFA.
And Chad Backus, attorney for CDTFA's legal division.
Thank you. And for appellant?
This is Nader Shahati. I'm the representative for Mr. Hart.
Thank you. The issues to be decided in this appeal are: 1, whether adjustments are warranted to unreported taxable sales, and 2, whether adjustments are warranted to unreported cigarette rebates. My understanding is that there are no witnesses today. Mr. Shahati, can you please confirm that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The exhibits for this appeal consist of CDTFA exhibits A through F. These exhibits were discussed at the pre-hearing conference, and they are admitted without objection.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Shahati, you requested 25 minutes for your opening presentation. You may begin when you're ready.
Okay. This taxpayer owned a smoke shop in San Bernardino, and when they start the audit, they ask him for books and records. He provide all the books and records. That include federal income tax return for the audit period, purchase invoice. There was a POS system, which is point of sale system, and he provide the information to the CDTFA. There was 1099 provided, bank statement provided. Basically, all the books and records that the auditor asked for, they provide. However, and he filed his sales and use tax on time. He paid his sales and use tax on time. There was no communication from the CDTFA that indicate that these reports or these returns are wrong or there is any problem with them. However, he reported 1,137,187 in taxable sales. With this audit, they come up with, they say there is a problem with the taxable sales based on the CDTFA calculation. They did purchase segregation and they're trying to match it with what we have. I don't think there was any problem. However, the markup was okay too. But still, they say the rebate is, there's a problem with the rebate. There is a problem with the self-consumption. And of course, the interest. I want to address each one of them. For self-consumption, this is his first time audit. So basically, he was not aware that he can claim self-consumption. Neither his accountant told him that he can do it or the auditor. So I'm gonna give some information about the self-consumption. He has 2 employees plus himself, and that will be around $20 per person per day. That will be $60 times 30 days will be 1,200. For the audit period, which is 36 months, it will be 43,200 for self-consumption that I would like to be considered as self-consumption for this audit. For the rebate,
Wait, Mr. Shaiti, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you tell me the math on that self-consumption calculation again?
yes, there was 2 employee plus the owner, which is 3 employee, times $20 a day for consumption of the cigarettes and the water and soda and the one that they have. So that will be for 30 days, that will be 1,200. So basically 60 times 30, 1,200 times 36 months. And that's the self-consumption that we're asking for.
Thank you.
For
You can continue.
Yeah, for the rebate, my taxpayer or my client said that the rebate is included in the sales and use tax that he reported, the one that is taxable, because basically he has rebate cigarettes that is taxable and rebate cigarettes that's non-taxable. So the one that was in the statement, the bank statement, he reported in sales and use tax. So by putting it again, it means you are charging him tax twice on the rebate. That is for the rebate. Now, there is a problem with the pilferage because they try to calculate it and they give him 2%. However, there was some stealing and there is a police report that there was break-in in the store, people taking products from his store. Therefore, I'm asking instead of 2% to have it like 3% for the pilferage when they calculate the unreported taxable sales for them. The other issue is the interest charged. I think there was a delay in this case because it's from 2022, and it's unfair to charge him interest which equal more than the tax or less, probably more than 40% of the tax is interest. There was a period of COVID, and there was other issues that delayed this case up to now. So I would like the court to consider waiving some of these interests or whatever applicable during the this audit period. Other than that, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Before we move to CDTFA, I have a few questions and I want to make sure that my co-panelists have the opportunity to ask questions. But first I wanted to ask regarding CDTFA, regarding the interest issue that was brought up that appears to be a new issue, at least for OTA. Was interest abatement previously requested of CDTFA?
This is Ravinder Sharma. No, it was not requested before. This is a new issue.
Okay. Thank you.
And we don't have a CDTFA 735 form completed by appellant under penalty of perjury, and the period and the specific reasons for requesting the interest. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
There's one,
I-
can I add one thing as far as for interest relief real quick?
Yes.
Due to the executive orders, March 2020 through June 2020 already has interest relief for those periods. So those periods wouldn't be an issue anyways.
Okay. Okay, so let me I want to go off the record for a minute and send everyone into a waiting room and discuss things with my co-panelists real quickly regarding the interest issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So everyone hang tight, we'll bring you back when we can. All right. We are reopening the record. Thank you for your patience. Before we continue, Ms. Ralston, did you have, or Judge Ralston, did you have any questions for Mr. Shahatit?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge Wong, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I do have a few questions for Mr. Shahatit. Regarding the self-consumption, there was some indications in the record, the audit working papers, that taxpayer didn't claim self-consumption, but now you're claiming there is self-consumption. Could you explain the discrepancy, why CDTFA mentioned that there's no self-consumption in the audit working papers?
Yes, sir. Basically, when he made his sales and use tax return, he was not aware that self-consumption, he can claim self-consumption as a non-taxable item, or that it will be taxed by the cost. So therefore, he did not claim it, but he reported every tax he collect to the board, and he was not aware that he has any credit for self-consumption if he claim it. And remember, this is his first time audit. He never been in business before. Actually, after this business, he even closed it, and he just say, I'm not being in business anymore, because he think it's too much headache. But self-consumption, because it's a cigarettes, and people who works there, they smoke. And basically these are they consume some sodas and stuff like that during the day, because they work long hours. And when I told him, yes, of course, it is like, this is part of you're supposed to report it, and his accountant did not tell him even that he can claim it, and that's the reason we did not claim it before.
Okay, thank you. And then just one more question regarding the allowance for theft. You said that CDTFA had given your client an allowance of 2%, and you were asking for a 3% allowance. How did you calculate a 3% allowance?
Usually the CDTFA allow 2% as part of their regulations, basically, but we're asking for more because he got basically a break-in, and there is a police report for that, and we provided for the auditor. And because of this policy of like less than 1,000, you cannot report it to the police, we could not bring any other police report. But basically, he has a problem with people breaking in and stealing some products from his business.
Okay, so for the police report that you did provide CDTFA, they did provide an allowance for that. Is that right?
They provide 2%, but they did not provide for the police report, I think, because there is no there isn't like how much they steal and stuff like that. I could not confirm how much product they took.
Okay. And then for the 3%, how did you arrive at that figure?
I just thought that this is the minimum we can ask for.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
No
you.
further questions at this time.
Thank you. I wanted to ask, with respect to your contentions, in your opening brief, you discussed differences between the amount of audited taxable sales from quarter to quarter. For example, you cite 1Q18 being at $448,094, but 2Q18 being at $60,867. I noticed that those weren't part of your presentation today, and that you mentioned that the markup actually looked okay in the audit. Are these items that were included in your briefing no longer in dispute?
No, it's not me telling you that the markup is okay. The auditor, after his calculation, he said that the markup is okay. That's why they did not do anything about it regarding the markup.
Got you. And then regarding these differences, are they still part of your argument today?
Yeah, the difference is that my taxpayer believe that he report every taxable sales that he has. So changing any reporting, he could not understand how did they come up with this calculation. I tried to explain it to him, and he said, neither I have cash register tape, I have the POS system, and everything things that I collect, basically I report. So, but I told him this is, if the CDTFA could not, how they say, confirm whatever you report, they have the right to change it based on whatever calculation they have.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. CTFA, you requested 25 minutes for your presentation, and you may begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. This is Ravinder Sharma. Appellant operated a smoke shop in San Bernardino, California since January 2016. The department performed an audit examination for the period of July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2019. Appellant reported total sales of a little more than $1.1 million and claimed no deductions, resulting in reported taxable sales of $1.1 million for the audit period. Exhibit F, page 59. Records available for the audit. Federal income tax returns for year 2016 to 2018. Bank statements for the audit period. Purchase invoices for 2018 and September 2019. Point of sales daily sales report for September 18 to September 23, 2019. Appellant did not provide any cash register tapes for the audit period. Due to lack of sales records, the department could not verify the accuracy of reported amounts. The department obtained 1099-K data for the audit period from its own resources. The analysis of appellant's reported total sales for sales and use tax returns and reported gross receipts per federal income tax return revealed significant unexplained difference for 2017 and 2018. Exhibit F, page 229. The department's analysis of reported taxable sales and credit card deposits revealed credit card sales ratio of around 103% means appellant did not report any cash sales. The department compared provided purchase invoices for 2018 with federal income tax returns purchases and noted an unexplained difference of a little more than $45,000. Exhibit F, page 224 and 225. Based on these analyses, the department determined that appellant's books and records were not reliable and adequate for sales and use tax purposes. In the absence of reliable books and records, the department used an indirect audit method to verify the accuracy of reported amounts and to determine unreported taxable sales. The department performed vendor survey and determined audited taxable purchases of around $1.4 million for the audit period. Exhibit F, page 85 to 223. The department conducted a shelf test using appellant sales invoices for September 2019. Shelf test resulted in a weighted markup of approximately 19%. Exhibit F, page 74 to 84. The department used audited taxable purchases of $1.4 million, allowed a pilferage of 1% plus pilferage for the burglary, and applied weighted markup of 19% to determine audited taxable sales of a little more than $1.6 million for the audit period. Appellant reported taxable sales of $1.1 million, resulting in a difference of around $506,000 for the audit period. Exhibit E, page 45. The department used bank statements and determined total credit card sales of around $1.2 million for the audit period. Exhibit E, page 47. Then the department compared audited taxable sales with the credit card deposits and calculated an average of 72% for the audit period. Exhibit E, page 45. The department applied calculated credit card ratios to the total credit card deposits of $1.2 million and determined unreported taxable sales of a little more than $496,000 for the audit period. Exhibit D, page 29. Since the credit card sales ratio method resulted in a lower unreported taxable sales than the markup method, the department used the credit card sales ratio method to assess the unreported taxable sales of $496,000 for the audit period. Exhibit D, page 29. During the audit process, the department noted that appellant received rebates from the cigarette manufacturers. The department used bank statements and determined cigarette rebates of a little more than $60,000 for the audit period. Exhibit F, page 226 and 231. Based on these audit procedures, the department determined unreported taxable sales of around $557,000 for the audit period. Exhibit D, page 28. To verify the reasonableness of the credit card sales ratio, the department performed an observation test on September 18, 2019, showing credit card sales ratio of around 51%. Exhibit F, pages 64 to 68, and Exhibit D, page 30. Appellant provided 5 daily sales reports for September 19 to September 23, 2019, showing an average credit card sales ratio of 67%. The department combined results from the observation test with the 5 days of daily sales reports and calculated an average credit card sales ratio of around 64%. Exhibit D, page 30. The audited average credit card sales ratio of 72% is consistent with the credit card sales ratio of 64% and benefits appellant. Further, audited markup based on the credit card ratio method is around 17%, which is lower than the shelf test markup of 19% and benefits appellant. Exhibit D, page 32. When the department is not satisfied with the amount of tax reported by the taxpayer, the department may determine the amount required to be paid based on any information which is in its possession or may come into its possession. In the case of an appeal, the department has a minimal initial burden of showing that its determination was reasonable and rational. Once the department has met its initial burden, the burden of proof shifts to the taxpayer to establish that a result differing from the department's determination is warranted. Unsupported assertions are not sufficient to satisfy a taxpayer's burden of proof. The department used appellant's provided books and records and third-party information to determine the audit liability. Doing so produced a reasonable and rational determination. As of now, appellant has not provided any documentary evidence to show that audited credit cards deposits and audited credit card sales ratios are not correct. Based on the foregoing, the department has fully explained the basis for the deficiency and established that the determination was reasonable based on the available books and records. Further, the department has used approved audit methods to determine the deficiency. Appellant has not met his burden to prove otherwise. Based on the evidence presented, the department requests that appellant's appeal be denied. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge Ralston, do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Judge Wong, do you have any questions?
Yes, I did have one question. Appellant today had asked for an allowance for self-consumption. Does this CDTFA have a position or a response to appellant's argument about self-consumption?
This is Ravinder Sharma. Yes, the audit findings are based on the credit card sales ratio method, which is 72% used by the audit findings, which is significantly higher than the 64% based on the observation test and other stuff. And self-consumption is not part of that. But if the appellant is asking for that, it may increase the liability. And during the audit process, audit staff specifically asked the appellant and everybody else, they told the audit staff there was no self-consumption, and based on the information we have, we don't use that.
Thank you. No further questions at this time.
Thank you. I do not have any questions at the moment. Mr. Shahiti, You asked for an additional 10 minutes to make your closing presentation, and you may begin when ready.
Yes, actually, before I do my presentation, I have a question for the CDTFA representative. Does the purchase
Mr. Shahati, I'm sorry to interrupt. Um, the way that this process works, CTFA is not testifying, and so you don't actually have the opportunity to ask them questions.
Okay.
However, if you would like, you can ask me the question, and I can see
It's okay.
if CTFA would like to answer it.
It's okay. I'll put it on my closed presentation. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
My client, the CDTFA in their they say that my clients does not have a books and records sufficient for the sales and use tax audit. Actually, we provide the sales and use tax CDTFA with all the books and records that we have. Bank statement. Where do you deposit your money when you do the sales? In the bank. They have all the books and records, and they have all the statement for the audit period. So if they say, oh, your bank statement is wrong, okay, show me the other way around. The second thing, the purchases that they did vendor survey that they took them more than 6 months to do the vendor survey. It matched exactly what we have in the books and records. So claiming that our books and records is not sufficient for them, I don't know. There is a big question for that. Number three, the rebate. The rebate, they find it in the bank statement. We report from the bank statement our sales and use tax. Plus, when they implement the point of sale system, we report from the point of sale system. I think we have all the books and records, and it's accurate, and there is no reason whatsoever that they do the credit card ratio in order to get more money from my taxpayer. My taxpayer report what he collect. He's the middleman between the consumer and the CDTFA. If they have an issue, they already have the 1099. They said, oh, we didn't provide it. Actually, I am myself provided to the auditor the 1099. They have from the 1099 all the credit card sales. And this is what matching. The difference is there are some non-taxable products that is in our purchases. I was wondering why the auditor did not segregate the purchases to find out what is the percentage of the taxable and non-taxable, then apply it instead of just credit card ratio so they can get more money from my clients. I think we have accurate reporting all our sales and use tax. I think my taxpayer, actually my client, when he find out this is the way that the tax agency deals with them, he closed the business and he moved out of state. This is another taxpayer that closing business in California and leaving because of the CDTFA. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. We do have a couple of business items before we conclude, but I did have a question regarding the books and records because, as you noted, you did provide the bank's statements. My understanding is that the total bank deposits in the liability period significantly exceeded the amount of total sales reported on appellant's sales and use tax returns. Do you have an explanation for that?
No, actually, I asked the accountant and he said this is what they report when they collect the tax. That's how much taxable sales they report.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move forward, I just want to check in with my co-panelists to see if they have any final questions. Judge Ralston, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Judge Wong, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Shahati, during this hearing, you brought up the issue of interest abatement, and CTFA indicated that a portion of the period that this appeal was, or this audit and appeal were processing, are not subject to interest because of the executive order during the COVID-19 pandemic. Did you want to pursue interest abatement further or was that the period of time that you were arguing for?
Actually, I think it's not fair for my client that he's gonna pay 3 years interest plus whatever period that took for the appeal and until to this point, because now the interest is almost 1/3 of the tax, if it's not more. If there is any way that the court will consider waiving the interest, I appreciate it.
Okay, so in order to consider interest abatement, you have to fill out and submit a CDTFA 735 form, which is a request for interest abatement. And you may submit that to us directly. I will leave the record open after this oral hearing and provide you with 30 days to provide a completed interest abatement request. Because it is a new issue, I will also allow CDTFA to have 30 days after you submit your completed form to provide a response. Failure to submit the form will result in us not addressing the issue of interest. Do you understand?
Thank you very much, Judge. Yeah, of course, I will send the form directly to the Office of Tax Appeal.
Thank you. And then for CDTFA, I just wanted to make sure, because the issues weren't necessarily addressed in the briefing. Did you want to take the opportunity to brief the issues of both pilferage and self-consumption?
This is Ravinder Sharma. As I explained earlier, we already allowed pilferage of 1%, and based on the police report, whatever that amount it calculates for the loss of tangible personal property, which was $1,764, which has been already allowed. And that one is on Exhibit E, page 45. It shows
Okay.
that. And as far as the self-consumption is concerned, during the audit process or appeal process, appellant never claimed it. And as I explained earlier, this audit is done based on credit card ratio method, which benefits appellant. If we go back to the markup method, the liability was already more than $496,000. It might increase or up the tax liability if we decide to assess the tax on self-consumption at the cost.
Okay.
Again,
So
again, whatever information they submit, it is subject to verification if that is reasonable or not, because the department has never received any information whatsoever for the self-consumption. Thank you,
okay.
Judge.
So I am going to take that as a no. And as a result, we will limit the additional briefing to just the interest issue. Otherwise, I believe we're ready to conclude the oral hearing. Judge Wong, Judge Ralston, are you ready to conclude the oral hearing?
Yes.
Okay. I want to close the record now. The record is now closed. And thank you to everyone for coming in today. We will be holding the record open. However, today's hearing in the appeal of Elhajj is now adjourned. This concludes today's hearings.